Hey guys, Kevin here, Mike Thompson's RV, doing a walkthrough video for this 2019 Coachmen Pursuit. It's called the 32WC. It's actually one of the most interesting motorhome floor plans I've seen. It has a lot of interesting features I haven't seen on a lot of it, and pretty much anything. And I'll walk you through some of those. But let's go through. First, I want to just point out this coach is a purchase. I can tell by the stock number. Also, I just happen to remember P for purchase, so it's not a trade-in. We didn't get it at an auction or anything like that. We don't typically do that. So it was purchased from the former owner, basically somebody that was selling the vehicle. For us to purchase a motorhome, it's got to be in really good mechanical shape. We just don't mess around with garbage or things we're gonna have to spend a fortune to put together and fix. So typically we purchase really clean stuff, and still it goes to a third party down the street that's able to do a chassis safety inspection, checking the brakes and change the oil and the filter and the generator and the engine, and basically make sure that it's fit to sell. And then once it passes all those at those inspections, then it comes here, we sell it. When it sells, it actually goes through our service department, where they go through the entire house of the motorhome and fix. Basically, they just look for things to fix, and they really dig deep actually, and they'll check all the connections of the stove sparkers and things like that. They want to make sure things aren't going to fail for the new owner anytime soon. So it's a good process. It's basically to protect the customer and do the best job we can to get you a unit that's going to serve you well and something we can stand behind. So I'm going to do hopefully quick outside, inside. I may turn it into two parts so that I can upload it quicker to YouTube. Well, let's take a look. You do have side cameras and the back, couple cameras in the back. Big exterior awning, I've noticed. It's a really nice, it's got the light in there all the way down at night that really brightens up. But it's a very good size awning. A lot of storage. I've noticed some of these compartments are just quite large. This has also the table that would go between the front seats, the table and the table like there. There's a really nice Magnum inverter. Not all Class A motorhomes have inverters. This one has a really nice inverter that will help you basically use a lot of your 110 power without having to have the generator on. The generator's running right now because I wanted to test everything. But that inverter is going to allow you to run a lot of the plugs, a lot of those 110 outlets, and probably make sure that the TVs work and things like that without having to run your generator. So typically most motorhomes don't have that inverter, which is quite a few actually. You got to get up to the really high dollar point usually to get the inverter, or being a diesel pusher. So that's basically the whole thing behind it, is being able to run a lot of these things without being plugged in for dry camping. So that's the purpose of this inverter. And so I noticed they also have auto gen start, which we'll talk about in a minute. But I noticed there's also the DVD player down here, if that's what that is. And this is probably the biggest exterior TV I've seen on any motorhome. This looks like about a 46 or 50 inch screen. So it's a big exterior coach screen, TV screen for sure. This is another thing, super cool. Well, first of all, got the outside outlet here if you want to plug something in outside. Another small compartment or medium-sized compartment here. But this is the neatest thing. It's almost like a dumbwaiter for your motorhome. Now, it doesn't send it up to the second floor or anything like that, like a typical dumbwaiter, but it really, what they've done is they found a space that wasn't being utilized on the inside where they had all this room, and they turned it into a giant storage closet. And then because it's a higher up and it's probably hard to get to, they made it so you can load it up here, then you hit this button, then you can move things up. So you have two levels basically to access all the storage that goes all the way up there. Anyway, I've just never seen anything like it, so I think it's pretty cool. They haven't even removed the plastic from this thing yet. So I'll leave that, but I like that. So 75 pound weight limit, I guess is what they're saying for the shelves. Okay, so I'll get to the next compartment here. Another good sized compartment. The tires, just to tell you the date code, it's right here, 0218, which means these tires were produced the second week of 2018. There's another compartment. This one seems to go all the way through. There's the ladder right there for the front bunk inside. It's not a very tall, you know, you can maybe have room for a table or this ladder, but it does go all the way through. The exterior of the coach is nice and glossy. There's 2 roof air conditioners. I climbed up to check. Over here we have the other side of that compartment. It's a 50 amp coach because of the 2 roof airs. So that's a 50 amp cord, which also means you have a 5500 Onan generator. Another little tiny space there. So over here we have basically where you connect the water and also a flush valve. So you can hook up your hose when you're flushing out your black tank, and it creates like a sprinkler system inside of your black tank to clean it out. And that's kind of like the last step of cleaning out your tanks. I love the service bay over here is just really easy. It's open and easy to get to, and easy to get to your water pump there if you need to change out your water pump. And this is from our people here. We have the tanks sanitized when we get the coach or before it sells. And that's a guy that comes around here. He's a mobile guy. He's been working for us for a long time. So that just tells me that he's done the job. He's cleaned and sanitized the tanks. A lot of little steps that happen here for us just to get these things, you know, to the next customer. So this is kind of neat. That's a valve or exhaust valve or exhaust port for the microwave. So when you're cooking inside, those fumes aren't getting trapped inside your coach to trying to get out. Keep some of the smells if you're cooking some fish or something like that. This is your actual exhaust for the motorhome and not your generator exhaust there. So there's another dump valve over here. And a little bit more storage for stuff. That's a slide control. That's if you ever have to do anything with your slide or reset it, there's instructions on there how to do it. This is not a storage compartment. That's your generator. Cummins Onan, I think it has about 514 hours or 512 hours of use. Totally normal. So there's your large propane tank, and then you have a little bit of storage up on top. I mean, you might not, maybe that's just actually more of a bracket to hold it. Yeah, I wouldn't store anything there, obviously. It would probably fall off when you're driving, unless you were to kind of clamp it on or something. But it's just, basically it's an undermount for the propane generator. Come on over to this side. Notice most of the compartments are fairly clean and don't look like they have a lot of spills and things like that, which is great. You have these frameless windows. Kind of looks a little more modern. Another thing I just like to point out in the video is that my goal in this video is also to show you any blemishes. So as I find anything that needs to be repaired or just even slight damage, I want to point it out so there's never any mysteries or surprises. And so far this coach is very clean, but I will point out anything I feel needs to be noted, or if I find any repairs that need to be done. I mean, like I said, they go through them, but even if I find something, I still put it on a list just in case. So I'm gonna cut this off here as we're about to go inside and then make part 2.